Well, g'day baseball fans and welcome down under to Dicolour Australia Stadium for a Saturday double-header of Australian baseball. Coming up, it's the Brisbane Bandits taking on the hometown Adelaide Giants. My name's Phil Hurd and thanks so much for tuning in. And boy, oh boy, do we have some commentary treats for you this afternoon. First up, helping me call the contest, officially, he's the ground operations manager of the Giants, but you might know him as the voice of Super League Baseball Adelaide and of the top rating show in the bullpen. He's in the commentary box, Eric Bonner.
What's up, Phil? Thanks for having me on the call. Looking forward to it. Let's see how the Giants go versus the Bandits.
They're decked out in the navy blue, looking absolutely resplendent, as is the third man of our team. Where do I start? Olympian, globe-trotting player, long-time administrator, coaches in his spare time, and he is one of the voices of Australian baseball, Paul Gonzalez. Gons, welcome to Adelaide.
Phil, Eric, I will honestly say it's always an honour to be here. I love Adelaide, so this is a pleasure to be up here with you guys.
It's just a pleasure for mine being here and hearing some baseball. Seeing some baseball, calling some baseball. Eric, where does this exhibition series fit in things? No official season, but we're playing ball anyway.
We are playing ball, and it's been a good challenge, I'm sure, as Gons can attest, both for the Bandits and the Giants, to see a good mix of veteran players and kids kind of coming together and bridge that gap. It's certainly a step above club ball. Might not quite be your normal ABL caliber, but it's certainly a level above. And with people on the mound, like you just saw Lockheed Wells, Team Australia, left-handed gun on the mound, it's going to be a good test for even the Bandits players.
No, I agree, and I cannot disagree with you. It's great to see how these showcases have turned out. It was always going to be uncharted territory, but look, I'll tell you what, quality of baseball's been outstanding. We
are set to rock and roll. First pitch underway. You're with Eric Bonner.
Andrew Campbell, the first batter, fouls this one away. Another long time. How long's he been on the Australian national team for?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's probably more like 6 years, but been ABL since day dot. So he's with Cleveland organization early on, and he's one of the veterans and one of the leaders of this ball club.
Left-handed pitcher Lockheed Wells on the mound. He's made that one appearance for the Giants so far. That was up in Brisbane. This is his home debut. Lockheed Wells gets the ball over the plate, so it's strike two on Andrew Soupy Campbell, as they know him. The 0-2 pitch. Gons, you've watched Lockheed Wells for a while now with the national team. What makes him such an effective pitcher?
Look, everything is clean. As far as he doesn't really give away anything, he's really clean with his action, and he really forces hitters to put the ball in play. That's what makes him so effective. And obviously, he's left-handed, so it's always nice to have a strong left-hander on the bump.
So we're looking at the starting lineup for the Bandits. Leading off is Andrew Campbell, Tyson Zamora in the 2-hole, Mitch Nilsson in third, Donald Lutz batting 4, Franco Natali 5. Cole Pike is batting 6, John Lim 7, Liam Taylor 8, and Luke Smith rounding out in the 9-hole.
A few veterans mixed in there, a few Claxton Shield winning players from that dynastic run that the Bandits had. Campbell being a big part of it, but Lockheed Wells gets him to strike out. So his first batter at home, it's a strikeout.
And like I said, everything at the hand is consistent. So what makes him so difficult, he doesn't really tip pitches as far as every changes arm angles or locations. Everything looks the same out of the hand. And he really works ahead in the count and then forces you out of the zone.
Tyson Zamora, the second batter up to bat for the Bandits. This is really his first taste at that next level, isn't it?
Well, and this is what gives David a chance to see, what is the succession plan? Is this guy the spark that we need as far as at the top of the order? Can he adjust to the next level of pitching? And that's really the biggest thing, is giving these athletes an opportunity to adjust to the next level.
Takes a first pitch inside. Lachlan Wells fills up that strike zone. He is affiliated right now in the minor leagues, as this one is chopped over towards short, and Darcy Berry making his first appearance in a Giants uniform at home. Gets a nice reception as he makes the catch over at short.
Just setting up the Giants defensively around the outfield. Brody Areola is in left, Jake Partington in centre, Jordan Mcardle is at right field, Liam Bull third base, Berry just in action there at shortstop. Mitch Lightbody second base, Rickson Wingrove at first. Griffin Weber is behind the plate, and Mitch Edwards is the DH.
Mitch Nilsson up to bat for the Bandits. He's had a few big seasons in the ABL. He really exploded in that run between 2015 and, well, still going, but 2015 and 2019 in particular.
Yeah, the biggest thing has been a few injuries. Obviously, when athletes don't do it full time, the body's always tough to stay fit. But he's been one of the I guess when you're talking about leaders, and one of the most stable guys in the lineup, and which helped the Bandits through that four-peat.
Jordan Mcardle has a look. This one drifts foul. So, again, Lockheed Wells ahead in the count early.
I think I saw Wells' brother was in town throwing a bullpen, and might have flicked Mark Reedy, our principal owner, a text saying, I think I've signed another Wells.
Lockie on the mound today. His brother Alex pitched in the big leagues last season for the Baltimore Orioles. Lockie affiliated with the Minnesota Twins, but because of some COVID reasons, didn't make that journey over to the United States this last season. So Lockheed Wells, this is his first real high-level appearance in a couple years, which I'm sure is a challenge for him, too, to get back into the swing of things.
And that's the hardest thing you find with all of the athletes is making those release adjustments, but he looks really strong here in the first.
0-2 count, and he gets Nilsson to swing and miss. So he gets Campbell, he gets Nilsson. It's a 1-2-3 inning and some quick work that Lockheed Wells has on the mound, looking right at home in Adelaide.
Yeah, a swift 1-2-3. As just checking if we're taking a break. No, we're going right through. A chance to chat. Fantastic. So, Gons, you were here in Adelaide. Last night's game, Adelaide won 5-2. Your takeout from game one?
No, I liked it. Look, as far as this ballpark always plays challenges, except for Wingrove. He tends to defy Mother Nature.
Physics.
and he hit a big two-run shot. But I think I liked the contest because there wasn't a lot of mistakes. Guys threw a lot of strikes, and your center fielder made some outstanding plays in that ball game. And I think that was the real game changer for the Giants. But like I said, quality baseball. I got a chance to sit with a lot of the corporates. Fullhammer had me in the box for a while, and they even said that they are impressed with the quality of play in the showcase this year.
Well, the difference for mine, 3 bases. Adelaide gave up none.
Yeah.
No walks, no errors. Bandits gave up 4 walks and a couple of errors, which proved consequential as the Giants made a comeback. The wind, probably the factor today. It's been a factor in all the games we've played here. And Eric, we've seen it from all points of the compass. A northeasterly last Friday, southwesterly last night, and now we've got a south-southeasterly.
This place swirls around. You think back to that year that the Giants went to the championship series and they eventually fell to the Melbourne Aces. Remember that big home run that Delman Young hit? All of a sudden it was downwind, and you have Delman Young at the plate, and he hits it over the scaffolding in center field, and the biggest home run I've ever seen here. This place swirls around, but I guess the Giants have kind of played to that defensively over the last couple years. They've kind of remodeled the way they built their team to play to the ballpark you're in. And Gons, you've done that in Brisbane too, right? You got to build the team around the ballpark you play in.
That's it. And I'll be honest with you, to get arms to want to pitch in Queensland is always a challenge. But you know what? They've learned.
The Homer Dome.
It is. But the other thing is they've learned is don't fall behind and don't walk people. Solo shots don't beat you. But if you walk people and you give up the 3-run shots, those are game changers.
Alrighty, Jack Partington's coming out to be followed by Rickson Wingrove and Jordan Mcardle. You're with Eric Bolner.
Jack Partington, the Henley and Grange Ram. He came back from college a couple years ago, and he's made a big impression in the local leagues. He can show bunt and run. He leads the competition in the South Australian Baseball League. He's got 16 stolen bases. The next closest, Darcy Berry with 12, and after that, the next closest is 6.
Well, the interesting part will be, like I said, these athletes are now getting to showcase their talent at the next level. Is what, as far as retention will be. It's particularly whatever happens in 22-23. So for me, I'm excited because it shows that there's talent depth all the way through, and now that they're getting exposure through these events.
Well, you can steal a base in local club ball when you're playing, your everyday baseball player in South Australia, but can you steal one when you've got a former big leaguer, let's say, holding you over at first base?
Well, and that's the key. Or a lot of times and we got a chance to see it firsthand with Team Australia, the 19U's competing. It's even the change of the arena. All of a sudden you've got music and you've got fans and you're being streamed across the country. That puts different pressures on young athletes too, and some athletes embrace it and other ones feel the pressure.
Do you think that's something that athletes actually do kind of consciously or subconsciously think about when you're standing over at shortstop and you do have camera watching your every move?
100%. You can't help it. I mean, we were fortunate enough to do it at an Olympic level, and knowing that if you made an error in a critical time, it could cost your country a medal. So you feel the pressures.
As we take a break, I just see them standing at second base. Does my backside look big in this?
No, it's just more of that, there's a constant presence now where, everything is now under the eye, to say the least.
Partington leads the team in RBI from the leadoff spot, and he puts one up the middle, picked up by Smith, guns it over towards Donald Lutz. Phil, why don't you take us around the defense?
I'll take you around the thanks, Eric. Tyson Zamora is in left field. Andrew Campbell anchoring centre, as he seems to have done forever and a day. Liam Taylor in right field. Around the bases, Kyle Pike has the hot corner at third. Luke Smith, you just saw him in action at short. Mitch Nilsson is covering second. Donald Lutz mastering first base. John Lamb is behind the plate. Franco Natali gets the DH role, which means from the Bandits side, a couple of players that would be on the bench, Jay Myers, Jacob Nielsen and Dermot Fritz. I'm waiting for Fritz to make his appearance, holding him back a bit.
Fritz didn't make the road trip.
So Kyle Pike came in as late?
That's right.
Gotcha.
So he's a late scratch. And now Pike's playing second because they're playing the power shift.
Yes, they are.
It's a very dangerous man.
Rickson Wingrove, you see his numbers on the right of your screen. He's got 2 home runs. He's got 9 RBI. This is his 8th game of the exhibition season. He's already got 8 walks.
Yeah, look, I have to say I'm a fan. When you talk about the future, and it's so important for a guy that can drive in runs.
How is this power shift, though? I don't know if we have a wide shot of that. This is ridiculous.
And then look at that. But you know what? To his credit right there, and I see it because he's now made an adjustment because they've given him the whole left side of the field. So just showing his maturity for a young hitter, he actually tried to shoot the ball left side. So everybody is on the other side of second base with the exception of Zamora, who's the only person in left field.
There's literally 7 players standing on the right half of the diamond.
It's a mega shift. It's a shift on steroids, they always say.
Ooh.
Maybe not.
And that's a weird pitch right there. So now he's gone off the plate, you got the shot right there. But like I said, that's where the game has changed, is the analytics and the spray charts, and now they're playing percentages.
It's going to give the scorers convulsions as to who catches this and where they are as the pitch gets beyond the catch. I mean, there's a gentleman standing halfway between first base and right. What position would you call that?
Yeah, it's like a right fielder / first. It's weird depth, isn't it?
But silly mid-right, maybe.
I'll be honest with you, as a player, and I played third, you feel a little awkward because even though you're an infielder, sometimes when you're on this side of the diamond, you just have good pitch.
Lay down the bunt?
Well, you could. Now he's 2 strikes. But you're right, he could. But he's not a burner, so you keep the double play in order for a leadoff guy. But he's probably got the most power in the leadoff hit position in Australia.
Wingrove, affiliated with the Philadelphia Phillies, played low A baseball this year with the Clearwater Threshers. He gets some sort of instruction from manager Chris Adamson year-round. He's also affiliated with the Philadelphia Phillies, but as a coach. So 365 days of tank in some capacity for Rickson Wingrove.
I don't know who that's fair on, tank.
Depends who you ask, I guess.
Exactly right.
Wingrove battling away here versus Connor Laverty, the starting pitcher. What do we know about Connor Laverty?
You know what? College athlete, came back, primarily was an infielder, so he's made the transition on the bump, so he's got a live arm, 3-pitch guy, fastball, breaking ball, and a splitty. So that's his out pitch, will be the splitty.
Right now, Carina Red Sox, second in the league. Greater Brisbane League, 1.47 ERA this summer.
Wingrove just chops it to a space where there's literally nobody. He doesn't need to hustle to first base because 7 of them were on the right side. So he beats the shift with a ground ball to a shortstop that didn't exist, and he's on first base.
And I'll tell you, that's why I like him. Mostly big guys, they might be just, drop and drive. Right there just shows he can handle the bat. And I played with one of the best, if not the best left-handed hitter in this country with Dingo. And nobody realized how much of a magician he was with the bat. Right there, that showed he can handle the bat.
Jordan Mcardle entering this series. He's up to bat. He was 6 for 12 with 5 walks. That was entering last night's play.
And he got 1 more last night.
And an RBI.
So Wingrove and Mcardle, the power hitters, between them have 14 walks in about, 8 games?
That's pretty productive from them. And Mcardle swings at the first pitch. This one going back towards center field. Campbell retreats. He makes the play. Rickson Wingrove was all the way at second and has to retreat. So it's 2 down. Mcardle got a piece of it, but not enough.
So that was a probably, 360 shot maybe towards the warning track. I've always wondered, while I've got you, Gons, what are the dimensions of Finnegan Field? Would that have been a home run? Would that have been in the soccer club?
Yeah, well, that should have been a home run here without the wind.
Yeah, true.
He crushed that, and that ball should be out of the ballpark. It reads at 380. It probably, I couldn't say it plays at 380, and they've doubled the wall. But the ball carries so well, particularly in the summer in Queensland with the wind blowing out to right.
Mitch Edwards, formerly affiliated with the Philadelphia Phillies, just 22 years old, chops it right over to first base. Donald Lutz, the former big leaguer, steps on the bag, and that will do it for the Giants.
Alrighty, we are 3-1, no score on the board. Now we can take a break. We'll be back with the second innings very shortly.
A little boohoo burrito.
What do you got for me?
Flapper in here. I don't know how long to put it in there for though. Yeah, no, that's good enough. Mucho beans and rice. My Espanols.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's a lot of rice.
Yeah, it's alright. We're going to stack this thing. Get out. None of that meat stuff for you. Vegan only.
Need the meat for me.
The vegan cheese. Because Zambrero's is very friendly
Just a little bit.
to vegans. Vegan sour cream. Oh, that's money. Guacamole, mate.
Absolutely.
Hand in there.
You gonna be able to wrap that?
Yeah.
Fair bit.
I'm good at it. That's the bit that I can do, mate. Oh, that was money. That was money. Bit of corn chips for you. Bit of crunch. All right, now we got to wrap it. Oh, you got to get it out, mate. I've seen this before, not my first rodeo. Come on.
There's no way.
Tell you what, I'm nearly there. Get in there. Just stuff her in, she'll be right.
You can't even wrap it properly.
Hold it that way.
Jeez. Thank you.
Money.
I gotta go to this area. Not bad. Oh, the chips, pretty good. The chips is a good, corn chips is a good addition. I didn't witness that, so that was a good surprise. It was pretty good. 8 out of 10.
Oh yes, one of the things you can enjoy right here at the ballpark. The Zambrero van doing a great business.
Hey, this is like Zambrero sponsors both of these clubs, don't they?
Absolutely.
This is a good dual little thing going on here.
Yeah,
the Zambrero Bowl.
The boys know the burritos and the bowls very well. So, yeah, they just followed them all the way to Adelaide. So, actually, I was in the corporate box and had my chicken burrito, so it was outstanding. So, thank you to Zambreros.
Coming up will be 4, 5, 6 in the Bandits order. Donald Lutz, Franco Natali, and we get to see who Kyle Pike is, the late replacement for Fritz. But, well, we're talking about a lot of young kids coming out. Ex-Giants player now. Donald Lutz up to bat.
He's got the Cavs jersey. He's got the Giants jersey. I think that's it. The Bandits jersey. Yeah.
And he's got a Cincinnati Reds jersey.
Yep. And a German national jersey as well. So he's but you know what? You talk about someone that just loves playing baseball, and that's what he does. And the other thing it's been great is he runs our academy programs too, and just his knowledge and his passion for the sport and wanting to pass that on and share that knowledge is outstanding for baseball in Queensland.
Donald Lutz versus Lockheed Wells. This will be a good battle. This is something that you'll see when the ABL does return. These are two bona fide stars of the Australian Baseball League going head-to-head. Lutz, a former big leaguer. Although his role is now, it's changing a little bit in Queensland, isn't it, in terms of what he's giving back to the game?
Yeah, his leadership's still imperative. You know, when you talk about clubhouse managers, having his presence is fantastic just because keeps that order, and then David just can focus on managing the team, knowing that he's got that type of leadership in the clubhouse.
Should mention as well, we will after the next pitch, the umpiring crew. A few over the next 2 games umpiring in some debut places, which is great to see some development there as well.
Lutz hits the ball into a bit of an awkward spot, moving back to... They had the shift on, and they still found a way to find a gap amidst it all, and Donald Lutz with a leadoff single.
Just to advise the umpiring crew for this afternoon's game, Jack Treadgrey, his first game behind home plate at this level. Dalton Osborne is at first base, Andrew Bell at second base, paying Souter, and I, when chatting to him pre-game, I said, my aim is to mention you at the start of the game and not for the rest.
I don't know if we have that on replay at all. That found an awkward gap just between 4 dudes out there.
And that's what's hard in the shift, and he was able to place it. Dingo used to call that he was a 7-tool player. Here's the shot right there. And you can just see, I think it was probably a 9-iron that just dropped over the second baseman's head.
A gap of 4 players.
But Dingo Reagan, he had 7 tools, and one was stealth because he led the team every year in stolen bases, and then the other one was radar. He could find every gap on the field.
Franco Natale up to bat for the Bandits. As Donald Lutz stands on first, 1-1 count. Lockheed Wells still on the mound.
Once again, another young athlete in Natal. He Venezuelan born, obviously living in Queensland. He's got a twin brother as well. I've watched them go through the minor league system. I mean, when I say the club ball systems, because my son played with them as well. But he's another one that's just a good athlete that needs this, and he needs more at-bats at this level to be successful.
There's a few players on both of these teams that will be making very serious cases for a spot on the team when they return next year. But Lachlan Wells, he might have a spot next year no matter what. He gets another strikeout. It's his 3rd of the day.
I tell you what, as a left-handed hitter, he's tough. Like I said, ball's live out of his hand, and he uses both sides of the plate extremely well, and he's got command of his pitches today. So it's going to be a tough day at the office for the Bandits.
You got to look at Kyle Pike. A few tough pitchers on the agenda for today as Pike swings through the first pitch.
Not the first time Pike's put on the Bandits uniform. He was part of the future squad that had that last-minute trip to Perth last year.
That initiative was amazing because I think that really kind of sparked the country about the importance of succession planning. And that was Principal Mark Reedy, or license holders, called David and says, we need to support Perth. They need to fill a team. And within less than 24 hours, they boarded that plane and they played that series. And it just kind of blossomed into something special.
There was a lot of boarding of planes at very late notice, and someone has got to write a book about last year's baseball season, Eric.
There was a few interesting stories to tell as it's a 3-pitch strikeout from Lockheed Wells on Kyle Pike. It is his 4th of the day. Most notably would have been after the first few days of the Brisbane hub. Once we started that off Thursday night, the Giants had that nice big walk-off win. Rickson Wingrove beats Perth with a big shot over right field. Bandits have a really good crowd on that evening game. It was a day off on the Friday. Everybody wakes up. Queensland goes into lockdown, and we're all on a plane that afternoon to Adelaide.
Yeah.
Chopped over towards second base. Light body moves under it, makes the throw over to first, and it's after a leadoff single from Donald Lutz. It's 2 strikeouts and a ground out that Lockheed Wells induces. That might be the end of his day. He might only have 2 in him. If it is, it was another pretty good outing from the Team Australia lefty.
Well, if he doesn't, because his pitch count was low. So
it was.
And so he might be going on pitch count. So they might be looking at, how do you feel about 60? And then that might mean he can push to four innings, So, but I really like what I'm seeing. He looks sharp. His mound presence is outstanding. And I guess on the other side of the spectrum, you've got Team Australia head coach on there going, what is my next event, and can he be part of that puzzle?
So a squad of 18 came over, 7 pitches for 3 games. They've got to go deep.
Yes. So, and I had a chat to David because we had dinner at Nathan Davidson's house on the Thursday night. So Dingo, myself, and Mark. And he thought it was going to be potentially 3 7s, and then he got a late memo that said, no, it's 9. And so, yeah, he had to really go, oh, I'm going to have to stretch.
So hoping Tim Atherton can go deep tonight in game number 2.
Yeah. Well, Atho usually does. Atho's like a big locomotive. We kind of say he doesn't really get warmed up until the 5th, and then you start seeing the next level with Atho. So
and he's pitched well in this ballpark. Remember the hub game last year? It was the Tim Atherton versus Mitch Nilsson battle. That was like a 1-1 game, literally up until the 7th inning. And I think the Bandits just got it in the night game. Either way, Atherton has had a couple really good performances in Adelaide.
I mean, look, we saw a lot of Brisbane last year. We saw a lot of Perth last year. Don't even know where Canberra is anymore. Haven't seen them for a while.
And I'll be honest with you, all the boys in the coaching staff said it was the best long place to stay. He was here. They absolutely loved their time here. Obviously, they were staying at the Stanford in Glenelg.
On the beach. How you doing?
They hated every minute of it. But the reality is, they said they really enjoyed it. And, you know, you talk about pitcher-friendly ballpark. This, depending on which way the wind's blowing, this is one of the best ones in the country.
5, 6, 7 in the lineup. Liam Bull, Mitch Lightbody, Griffin Weber making debut this weekend.
And Liam Bull laces one towards center field on the first pitch that he sees. Liam Bull, the Henley and Grange product, continuing his very strong ABL exhibition games.
There you go.
Tied up, but finally got there. But Liam Bull's on first base. That's all that matters. Mitch Lightbody up to bat, the longtime Sturt product.
Was also part of the Western Rays and Super League Baseball Adelaide, and 10 Western Rays in this lineup, would you believe?
Yeah, a lot of players from West Torrens Baseball Club and Henley and Grange Baseball Club locally that make up this Giants lineup. It's not really a coincidence that they're number 1 and 2 on the local league standings.
No.
But a lot of kids on those teams. And Lightbody from Sturt, Weber, one of those Henley and Grange players. Areola from Port Adelaide, and Barry from Henley and Grange. That's the lineup coming through. Very club ball heavy team for the Adelaide Giants this year, which the locals have loved to see.
I think it was 18 of the 22 for the squad for this week, and it's been 16, 17 or so.
And the other ones are Lockheed Wells. Jaden Bastow now pitches for Golden Grove.
Dodgers.
Not Golden Grove, sorry, Goodwood, sorry. As Lightbody swings through the pitch.
And just a quick plug for Spacequake Sports bringing this production. They also bring you Tuesday night baseball. Some of the local competition. So check out Spacequake Sports on YouTube for telecast details if you're looking for baseball on a Tuesday night.
On a 1-2 count, Laverty keeping Liam Bull in check. He's got a little bit of speed, but he's not probably Adelaide's top stolen base threat. On the 1-2 pitch, Lightbody just cuts to stay alive.
This Friday night game, he put down a beautiful bunt. He is a bunt threat, although at this obvious stage in the count, that's probably gone now. Find very few players in Australian Baseball League have the ability to bunt well. It's a skill that needs to be developed, Gons, I think.
Yeah, look, the point is you have to practice it. When I played in Asia, the Japanese particularly were masters of the bunt in small ball, called execution baseball, but they practice to bunt well. So it's not something you get your 2 warm-up hacks in BP and then you master bunting. It's like anything else. You got to master the craft.
Lightbody lays off a breaking ball. He's worked himself back to a full count. Bull still being kept honest. Donald Lutz tries to apply the tag. So a full count with the first leadoff runner that the Giants have had on the day. And it's the first strikeout of the day for Laverty on the mound.
So it's interesting, Gons. I was looking through the Greater Brisbane League pitchers because Laverty number 2 in ERA. He's joined by a couple of well-known names in Australian baseball. Sam Holland, of course, who's here. Travis Blackley needs no introduction.
Nope.
Steve Chambers needs no introduction. Nope. Reece Nitt's been around, and Matty Tim. So that Brisbane comp's got some talent with the arms.
Yeah, there's some arms, and Reece actually pitched for Canberra last night. He got his first start and threw really well, so that they got their first game in against Sydney, and I think from all accounts it was a positive event as well.
Griffin Weber up to bat. He's been around the Giants program for a few years now. This one heading towards shallow center field, and it was an awkward one, and moving in, Liam Taylor comes storming in from right field and makes the grab.
We get a chance to see the replay here. Soupy didn't really get a good jump. You see he got a late jump. Second baseman was caught off in tough wind. And actually a really good job for him to run that down. That's a tough play.
Yeah, the scorebook will show a regulation fly out to right. It was anything but
regulation. But look at that. You got a veteran at second and a veteran at center. So they made the young one run it down.
You do the work.
It's just good baseball right there.
Between Nilsson and Campbell.
They're too old to get that one. It's out of the range.
Yeah, 8 Claxton Shields, probably over 600 combined ABL games, a few national team appearances, and they say, you go get this one.
Go get it, kid. Get on your horse.
Brody Ariola, 20 years old, was one of the surprise opening day starters last year in the ABL season, was certainly not out of place, and he finds a base hit by going right up the middle. So it's the third base hit for the Giants, this one with 2 outs. A lot of those hits have been early in counts versus Connor Laverty on the mound.
Once again, you see balls middle way and up and just staying through the ball really well and shoots up the middle. And that's really the secret here. You just can't try to do too much because Mother Nature, with the exception of Wingrove, will deny you. But that's just staying through the baseball and a good job of hitting right there.
Well, this will be a meaningful at-bat for young Darcy Berry. Darcy Berry he's been a junior member of the Adelaide Giants for maybe 5-6 years as a ticket holder. Then he's a pretty good baseball player too. He was on one of the Team of the Years in the South Australian Baseball Leagues, just turned 18 years old. He'll be off to college next year. And this means a lot to him to play for the Adelaide Giants. Probably more so than a lot of different players. And he's got a base hit in his first at-bat at home. And he might have an RBI. Liam Bull rounding third. He goes home. And a big reception for the crowd as Darcy Berry in his first bat at home in front of the hometown fans has put the Giants on the board.
I've got a smile, Eddie, and that's why I love this game. If you get a chance to see the replay, great job of hitting, just stayed through the baseball. He gets a big RBI. Crowd goes nuts. His heart would be racing a mile, but like you said, the story to get here and then have a first at bat, it's a knock. That's why we play this game.
So he and Max Stagg, who are on the Giants together now, Stagg just 17 years old, they grew up playing Little League together. They grew up playing Junior League together. They played Senior League together. They made their club ball debut together, and they made their Giants debut in Melbourne together. And in the dugout before the game, Barry literally looked over to Stagg and said exactly that. How cool is this? We're best mates. We played Little League together. We played Junior League together. Now we're playing Giants together and batting next to each other in the lineup. And like they were so through the moon with that opportunity.
That's why these games matter. The opportunity to get to that next level and deliver. And we're seeing so many kids, and all the clubs playing these show something that they might not have had the opportunity to in a normal ABL season.
Barry didn't play last night because he missed last weekend due to COVID. He was a contact, and this was his first game back. But in his 6 games before that at bat, 1 home run, 9 RBIs, hitting .381.
Wow.
Yeah. In what,
6 games?
6 games, yeah. 10 RBI now.
10 RBI now, including the one that puts the Giants up. So a very cool moment for Darcy Berry, and you could tell the crowd knew exactly who he was.
100%. I'll go a little bit deeper for you guys. So this is something that people don't understand too, is that this experience they take back to their clubs and they become leaders within the game. And it also helps with the retention strategies of how do we keep these athletes in the game longer.
Well, Eric, it's something you mentioned in the bullpen. You had Sturt coach on a couple of weeks ago. And look, at the moment, it's inconvenient. These guys are not playing club ball this afternoon, but we don't play these in March.
Jack Partington, he'll find a gap, and Tank Adamson is waving around the runner again. There'll be a play at the plate. The throw is off, and Jack Partington has RBI number 11 on the exhibition season, and it's a 2-0 Giants game.
Once again, a good job of hitting, and that pitch is a good location. Down and away, he shoots the ball right field. Once again, staying through the baseball, and they drive in another run.
Well, there was a momentarily tie for RBI leadership at the Giants on 10 between Partington and Barry. Partington says, no, I'm your RBI leader. He goes to 11 for the summer.
Rickson Wingrove gets an intentional walk. They want nothing to do with him, so they'll load the bases and they'll try to pick their poison with Jordan Mcardle instead with just 2 outs.
I'll tell you a Mcardle story. It's great. I called a Little League national game in Lismore, and he was there. And when I looked at his body language and mannerism, I'm thinking, wow, this kid's going to be special. So, and he's turned out he's been one of the special hitters in the ABL. So
we got Barry at third, Partington at second, Wingrove intentionally walked. is at first.
And it's a 2-0 lead for Jordan Mcardle as he comes up to bat. Another big fan favorite here. Had that season, the last full ABL season, he had over 300 for the Giants. He was second on the team in batting. It earned him a contract with the Philadelphia Phillies. He got to America. He got to spring training. The global pandemic broke out. They sent him on a plane 2 days later.
Yeah, and that's tough. You hate to hear that, but like I said, I guess the bright part is he's now in the radar. He's got to be somebody they look at for Team Australia.
Swings through that. Well, he was on that list that was going to be on the Team Australia qualifying roster for the Olympics, and then pandemic again cancels that.
And that's a tough part for the athletes, is just some of the mental challenges that's had with the athletes. You're so excited, you're going to represent your green and gold, and then that opportunity. But hopefully, like I said, they're definitely in the radar, and they're doing what they need to be doing. That's playing.
0-2 count lays off that. Jordan Mcardle, 149 ABL games. He would have been over 200 this year had there been a full season last year and a full season this year. He's only 24 years old. He is Mr. Adelaide Giant here. He's Adelaide born and bred, being part of the program since he was 15 years old.
And that's something Adelaide haven't had a lot of in recent years, that senior player. Stefan Welch used to really hold that role, I think. We did have the baby bite for a year or two as we brought in some of these blokes, and now it's great to see them at a more senior level.
Well, you did acquire one in center, and now you got an emerging one in Mead as well. So, like I said, I love watching this organization play, because I've watched these young men turn into men, and some of the most dominant players in the league now.
Mcardle watches it outside, so he's behind 0-2. He makes it full. So full count, bases loaded. Giants up by 2. RBIs to Darcy Berry and Jack Partington have put the Giants in front. And Jordan Mcardle can blow this open early. Big pitch coming up in the context of the game for Connor Laverty. Runners go. Mcardle to right field. It finds a gap. He scored one, and he'll score 2. Rickson Wingrove held up at third, and Jordan Mcardle has a 2 RBI single, and the Giants lead by 4.
Yeah, see the replay right there. Once again, even with a slight shift, just finds just that shot down, and with the runners moving, 2-run score. Moves Wingrove over to third, and Giants continue to put pressure on this Bandit starter.
This will be the 9th batter in the inning.
I was about to say 5 hits, an intentional walk, 2 out. That adds up to Mitch Edwards coming in, the only one of the 9 who hasn't had a hit yet. And I've got to start a new score sheet if he gets on.
Is that right? The only one of the 9 that there's a couple players. There's a lot of hits right now. Grounds it over towards shortstop. Luke Smith makes the play. And that will do it for the second inning, but the Giants score 4.
By having a hit, I mean going up and having an at-bat. Sorry, wrong terminology. That'll do it for 2. The crowd, and I was going to add, the crowd here for an afternoon game. Fantastic. You'd be happy with that. We'll take a break, be back with the 3rd between the Bandits and the Giants.
Well, the point ultimately is to play some baseball. You know, a lot of us, it's been a long while since we've been actually on a field, so just to be able to have an opportunity to go out there and, compete with our mates is exciting, but it's also going to give some young kids an opportunity to compete at a higher level than they've been at, so it's exciting. The goals themselves will be, relative to each individual. There'll be some guys with a little bit more experience that might be refining something more specific about their game, but some of the young kids, as I mentioned before, just the goal for them is just to be exposed and almost be a little bit vulnerable and be better for it at the back end.
The goals with the pitching staff is to show them how we kind of do things at this level and expose them to the culture and the processes and the philosophies, and then hopefully they can impart it into their club ball experience after this and be better off for it.
In terms of expectations, a lot of it's not going to be necessarily results-based. Whilst it's good to win every game or win every pitch that you go out there and, when you're competing against another team, but ultimately it's just, to gather as much experience as we can and learn from it.
The biggest thing with the younger demographic we have here, I think, is developing routines and understanding how to evaluate performances and then just build off that.
Hopefully it's special for them. I know it's really cool for us to have seen a lot of these kids come through, and I know for myself, having a few of them in junior programs when I worked down at Baseball SA, it was really cool to see them in the same uniform as us, and hopefully they use it as a springboard into the future.
Welcome back, everyone. What a gorgeous day in Adelaide. Beautiful blue sky, about 27 degrees, nice cool breeze from the coast, and baseball. Coming to you live thanks to Spacequake Sports. The Bandits and the Giants putting on 4 at the bottom of the second to lead this one. And Eric, we've got a change on the hill.
Yeah, Luke Wilkins comes on to the bump for the Adelaide Giants, a long-time ABL member. Mostly with the Sydney Blue Sox, pitched 10 seasons there before moving to the Giants last year. He's been on Team Australia for the last 3 or 4 events that they've been on. He can start, he can relieve. He's a crafty veteran that has kind of added to his velo in the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's impressive. I've obviously watched him for a number of years and got a chance to see him pitch in the green and gold, and he's outstanding. And his velo is up. He's sitting about 93 on the high end, but really good command of his 3 pitches as well. But once again, veteran presence and a leader.
Thus far this summer, 9 strikeouts, no walks.
Hit over towards Darcy Berry at short, makes the play across the diamond, and he gets the first out. Liam Taylor grounds out. Yeah, Luke Wilkins, that was probably the issue that he had last year in the condensed ABL season, was those walks. And this year has kind of cleaned that up.
And it's funny, sometimes it's just a small mechanical adjustment. They just don't find their rhythm. But like I said, I watched him throw a pin yesterday, and he looked outstanding. Everything's just clean out of his hand.
First pitch swing from Smith, flared out towards center field. Jack Partington with some good range, and it's another quick out.
I'm impressed with that young man. Like, I know he's young, you can tell physically, but he reads the ball extremely well off the bat, and he covers a lot of real estate out in center.
Jack Partington, he's actually 23 years old. He went to college. He came back, and he this year we've been talking about him a lot in South Australia.
That's young, though.
It is young, right? But we've been talking about him a lot in terms of Super League. He had a big year.
Yep.
In club ball, he led last year in stolen bases. This year he's doing the same. He's hitting 450 or whatever it is. And I was chatting to him. We had a little interview with him before the season. He was put on the Giants squad with those numbers. He can't really miss it. And we were saying, I was asking him what was different this year, like what's led to all the changes. He's like, man, I've been doing this for the last 3-4 years. I have no idea why I haven't been here before, but I'm here now and I'm going to have fun while doing it.
And you can tell he's enjoying it. Like I said, particularly in this ballpark, if you can get a guy that can run him down and go gap to gap, which he does really well, he's going to put the ball in play. He may be a guy that wasn't in the radar, and all of a sudden he becomes a mainstay.
We might one day be saying Aaron who?
Well, you think about it, though. If you look at the Giants' lineup for next year, as Campbell swings through it, and that's a strikeout for Luke Wilkins. That was a very quick 1-2-3 inning. But as I was going to say, if you look at the Giants' lineup for next year, assuming everybody's here, available, healthy, ready to play, you'd have Aaron Whitefield in center field. You'd probably assume there'd be an import also in outfield, as it's been the last few years. You have that other outfield spot, and then Jordan Mcardle can play a little bit of outfield, probably better suited as a DH. Then you've got guys like Jack Partington, Max Stagg, Brody Areola. They're, you don't want to say competing because they're on the same team, but that's the spot that they're kind of competing for, you'd think, going forward, right?
That's right. And that's what you want. When we talk about the league, you want depth. And unfortunately, when you don't have depth, as soon as one of your key components goes down, it's a game changer in where you finish up in the standings. So to have that versatility and depth is imperative for success as an organization.
We do have an Connor Laverty is still out there. Just checking with our producer. Bonds, I was going to ask you, we talk about Super League Baseball Adelaide. Not going to say that you copied it, but there's something similar that occurred in Brisbane with the Futures League this year. We had Assassins and Lumberjacks and Yardbirds, and a lot of these players that we're seeing here for the first time did well in that step-up competition.
Yeah, what they were trying to find is just a little bit more competitive tier. They're going to restructure. One of the things that was taxing on the athletes because it was like a 10 or 12-week program, so they're going to try to condense it. David actually is working with Shane Watson and Baseball Queensland Board, so they're just trying to find just that happy medium. So it's not ABL, it's not GBL, so it's in that middle just so those kids get a little bit more competitive games. And then with the coaching. So Lutz is part of the coaching staff. Watto is part of the coaching staff. So a lot of baseball knowledge working with these young athletes. So, but like anything, it's always good to model something that's been successful, and hopefully we can do that across the country.
Liam Bull leads things off for the Adelaide Giants. He led off the last inning with a single towards center field, and he's going to lead off this inning with a single to center field as well.
It's a hit parade, 7th hit. Just 6 outs so far. The Giants have found their offense and they're spreading it around beautifully.
Good job of hitting right there. Just looking at the replay, just staying once again through the baseball, not trying to do too much. And this, once again, their recipe has been staying in the gaps and staying in the middle of the diamond.
Liam Bull now 11 for 24 in the exhibition season, and he's got 10 RBIs entering the game. He scored a run today. First pitch swing, Mitch Lightbody flies out to right field.
That's an average of 458.
That works.
That'll keep you a job.
Well, some of these averages at the moment, and look, in baseball terms, 7 games is a very small sample size.
Yeah, we usually don't make an evaluation until 100 at-bats, and then you can start kind of gauging. But like I said, to the credit of the athletes, in short seasons, it's hard to have success because there's not been a lot of exposure to these arms either.
Griffin Weber up to bat. He flew out to right field in his last at-bat. Giants have done a good job this summer in their condensed season of hitting as a team. They've had 3 different occasions now where they've had 8 different players collect hits in a game. Whether that be 1 hit each or 2 hits each. Versus the Melbourne Aces in that concluding series on the opening weekend, they had 6 different players that had at least 2 hits.
Yeah. You want an even spread. Very hard to score runs if you've got 1 on-fire hitter. You need them in batches, and you need them consecutively.
It's probably very telling that the leadoff batter in the Giants lineup leads the team in RBIs. How often do you see that?
No, you don't.
Funny thing is he does that in club ball too. He's a leadoff hitter and he leads his team in RBIs. Grounded over towards third. Pike picks it up, throws to second for 1, and they're going to turn the double play. An inning-ending double play. Good defense from the Bandits. Let's get this replay up before we go to break.
Yeah, once again, just right there. And this is what it needs to do. Just utilize the infield. Hook the ball. Good feed by third baseman to Nilsson, to Lutz. And that'll end it.
Alrighty, we're through 3. It's a 7 innings game. We'll be back with more after the break.
We're getting to know Darcy Berry, new Adelaide Giant. Darcy, thanks for coming on a walk in the indoor facility with me.
Oh, good. Thanks for having me.
When did you start playing baseball?
Started playing at West Torrens as a little peewee sort of wedgie when I was about 7 years old. Playing T-ball all at West Torrens and growing up there.
Do you remember that first moment you fell in love with the game? You knew this is it.
Yeah, I mean, growing up it was always a decision between soccer or baseball because those were my main 2 passions. And then I probably decided when I was about 14 that I actually wanted to play baseball as a career and followed on.
Did you used to go to the Bite Giants games growing up?
Yeah, always out there at Norwood at local games, chasing foul balls and always getting those little helmets as the ice cream cones.
Yeah, I remember you've been a junior member for a while before coming to the games.
Yeah.
What about some of your favorite players growing up? Idols in South Australia?
Yeah, idols was I always had 3. It was always Nate Van der Linden, Mason Pickard, and Curtis Mead.
And what do you reckon, what does it mean to you knowing that, you got to wear that Giants jersey before and you get to wear it on the weekend again? What did that mean to you to put on that Adelaide jersey?
It meant so much to me always growing up and being the biggest fan of the Giants, and then finally getting to play for them is a huge privilege.
All right, what kind of music do you like? What was your most Spotify Wrapped? What was your most listened to song?
I think it was FN by Lil TJ.
And if you could go to any sporting event ever right now, can't say baseball or Giants, it could be a baseball game, but not a Giants game. If you could go to any sporting event in the world right now, what would it be? You can go back in time.
We'll probably have to go back to see Babe Ruth play, I reckon.
You'd go back to see Babe Ruth play?
Probably, yeah.
Outside of baseball, favorite sports team?
Hawthorn, AFL.
Hawthorn, AFL. Darcy Berry, new member of the Giants, Adelaide kid. Come see him play.
Welcome back, top of the 4th. No time to chat. Play ball. We have 2, 3, 4 in the Bandits lineup, as I've got a little bit of a blockage of my view. We have a great spot here back of the Mart Hutton grandstand.
When people are sitting down.
When people are sitting down, that's right.
But we
won't talk about the alternative here. I'll get in trouble. As Zamora finds right up the middle, right down King William Street, that hit. And I think for the first time today, the Bandits, second time today, happened in the second with Donald Lutz. They get the lead off on. From that, good things can come.
Tyson Zamora gets a hit. Gons, how did Brisbane go about finding the players to fill out this roster? Obviously, half the roster, that very experienced Claxton Shield, multiple Claxton Shield winning team. Others, kids like you're seeing in Adelaide getting their first opportunity.
So David's roster is 42. So
What?
Yeah, we have 42 on our roster this year. And that was strategic because if we lost, he also has 2 coaching staffs available. So if we lost athletes because of COVID or anything, we always had contingencies in place that we could always fill a roster. Now, we also had it that if another team went down, we could send our development squad with some veterans to go compete in another state and have 2 teams going at the same time. So David kind of really said, my roster is 42. And when we put our submission to BA for this competition be sanctioned, I put the plan together and basically said, we're going in with a 42-man roster. And it was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, we're looking at all the variables. If I lost 10 guys to COVID, we can still fill the team, and I don't have to call an organization saying, hey, our team's down with COVID. So it was very strategic, but David was playing matchups every week to keep all players sharp.
Mitch Nilsson at the plate. Looks that one past, gets ahead in the count 3. And just the line on Lockheed Wells. His 2 innings pitched, 23 pitches. Just gave it the 1 hit, struck out 4, 0 walks. That's a bit of a commentator's curse possibly here, Eric, but the Giants yet to give up a walk so far this weekend. And I was going to say that because it was a 3-1 count was likely, but this could be a double play situation too. But no, Nilsson beats out the throw. Just bounced enough, took enough time to get out to light body at second for Nilsson to make the ground. But the leadoff man in Zamora is retired. So we've still got 1 on at first base, but now the Bandits are 1 out.
Just quietly, just looking at the footwork of your shortstop, look, he's playing on the other side, and he hooked it to the second baseman, but he had to reverse catch up. But that's excellent footwork, and almost converted that double play. So that's that young man that was
Darcy Berry.
And all of a sudden, he's got a knock and a ribby, and he comes up with a big play right there.
Donald Lutz, who got the first hit for the Bandits this afternoon in the second, is back for more.
Darcy Berry had a fan club out last night. They were in the Burrito Bowl. There was about 20 people that booked tickets to come see him play last weekend. Comes down with COVID. They reschedule their tickets for last night, and he doesn't play.
Well, but you know what?
They're here tonight, though.
And he's put on a good show at this stage.
All right, and the play to second, and there you have it. Just like that. They didn't get the double play the first time around. They went. Don't normally see a double play that works first base to second, but I guess you take the defense as the hit comes.
Yeah, Wingrove got the force there, which forced the tag at second. Once again, able to get Mitch. That's a clean double play.
So Wilkins, who pitched just 10 pitches in his first inning of work, I reckon he went through about 6 in that one.
Lockheed Wells couldn't have been up on his pitch count high either in his first, because I know they
23.
were scheduled to go 2 and 2. And now I don't do you stretch out Luke Wilkins? But if you do that, there's only a limited number of innings, and I think they want to get the locals at least pitching at home. We'll see what they decide.
Well, of course, this time last week, Eric, we were sitting in the deluge. Not a lot of pitches used on the Friday night, so there's got to be a few pitches out there that are just hanging out to get out on the hill.
Yeah, especially at home. That was disappointing. There was nothing that the Giants or anybody could control. The weather's the weather, and if it's bucketing rain all day, it's bucketing rain all day. You know that in Queensland, Gons, how that goes. But after everything we've had, all the COVID cancellations, all the COVID rescheduling, this was the first total washout that we've had in Adelaide in my 8 years that I've been here, and it happened in the COVID. So if everything that could have happened, the rain comes, and it's just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I heard it was a gorgeous Friday night and a good turnout.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but like we had rain in our Team Australia's game 2 in the doubleheader. It rained all of Wednesday, so there wasn't anywhere for the water to go. So the water table was high, but able to get it in. Having Atho on the bump, the efficiencies were pretty good. So, it was only a 7-inning ball game. We finished in an hour and 50 minutes, but yeah, the ground was a bit wet, but the guys put on a good show.
Because, of course, this is the 5th time these two have met, and you were up there in Brisbane, both of you, for the first game. A tie in baseball, 9-9.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We were sitting there with Nathan Davidson. I was with Mark Reedy, and I said, I think they're going to call it at 9. And Reedy said, no way, they'll go to the tie-breaking rule. Next thing you know, they're shaking hands.
Ariola to the shortstop in Smith, and there's a fumble at first, and lead-off man on. And I usually in these baseball calls, Gonz, I refer to my expert and we say, is that an error or is that a hit? I reckon that's going to be, unfortunately for Lutz, probably not a wide enough throw to blame the shortstop, you reckon?
No, it will be because it's a tough play. He bobbled it at a short, so he had to double pump and good hustle by to put a bit more pressure. It's a tough pick for a first baseman. I think if he comes off the bag, he probably clears it, but then he's still going to be called safe. So they'll probably give it an E6.
So, okay, we'll check, see if the scorers agree with you. We have this sort of prelude of what we think it is, and we'll check what officially comes out a bit later. I'll put an E6 down on my scorebook. Anyways, we go to the top of the order. Jack Partington comes up to bat. Pick-off attempt at first, perfectly safe.
You can never make the assumption it's going to be a clean pick.
That's it.
There's too many variables over there.
I saw one of the Bandits' first baseman last night get a bad bounce. Jaden Smith will try the double play around the horn, and there it is. So error erased, Giants runners erased, 2 out, no one on.
Well, Darcy Berry had the RBI in the first one, grounds into the double play, but I guess it's all things even for the Bandits at the end of the day.
It is, and especially for the young shortstop. Luke is a young athlete we'd like to see and go into a college system. And, you know, after a throwing error right there, which depends on how it's scored, comes back, comes up with a big double play and helps his pitcher out and get out of the, hopefully, unscathed in this inning.
Yeah, so that was Darcy Berry. Thanks for that, Eric. Now it's Jack Partington. We're up to the top of the third time round in the fourth inning. Yeah.
Pardo has quickly become one of my favorite players to watch in at least club ball because he's probably one of the most exciting players we have going in terms of he does it all. He doesn't hit for a lot of power, but he puts the ball in play and he legs out infield singles. He makes nice plays defensively. He always wears that bandana in the club ball games over his face, so it's kind of like a cowboy patrolling the outfield. He came in and pitched one game in a blowout game in the Super League just to kind of eat an inning, and he struck the side out and he did the Conor McGregor strut off the...
But you know what? You need that in the clubhouse. He's a young man, and I'm talking to Nathan, just looking at him on the field. He just looks like he's just enjoying this whole experience, and that's what it should be about.
Bain puts that to right. Reasonably simple play for Liam Taylor, and that will retire the Giants.
It will retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning. There's an error. There's a double play. Partington flies out. Eric, Gons, and Phil back with you on the other side. Giants lead 4-0 from Adelaide.
Whip me up something good, J-Mac. Let's go. Bigsy tortilla. Oh, you need a bit of foil, mate. Come on. There you go. Oh.
Crispy. That's hot.
You bet it straight away. I want some rice first, mate.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you a Bigsy.
Yeah. You best believe I'm looking for guac and sour cream. Tell you what. Oh, he's got the lettuce in the sour cream.
Cross-contamination there.
There's no way
You do all this?
Yeah, every bit of it. No lime for me.
No lime?
No, that one. Yeah, that looks good. What's it say?
Don't know.
We can't read. There's Buckley's you're doing that.
Stiff chance here.
You should be touching the meat first, not the wrap.
Uh-oh. Very crispy.
Oh, I so won this.
There you go, mate.
Really need the plate. Not bad. Stick together. How do I pick it up?
Good luck, mate.
Oh, she's a bigsy. It's a pretty thick quesadilla. J-Mac made it. 8 out of 10. Good job, mate.
Back at the ballpark, a look at the Burrito Bowl. That's one of the best seats in the house in Adelaide, brought to you by Zambrero. All your drinks. You get a couple course meals of Zambrero served right to you. All your Big Shed beers, a pretty good place to watch the game. It can get some rowdy nights up there.
It is. It's a good spot. I enjoy coming to the ballpark. When we talk about this organization in particular, pioneered a lot, particularly even the streaming. There was somebody shared an old streaming footage from the old Norwood Oval days, and it used to be a really simple system, but they really kind of evolved, and now we've got some really good platforms to work from.
All across the country.
That's it. We're live Adelaide this afternoon. There's a long hit to left. Should be playable, but it might actually drop. Lead-off man on for the Bandits. That was Franco Natali. And just waiting for the Bandits to put a couple of those together, Gons, and get something on the scoreboard as we head into the fifth.
It was always going to be tough when you look at the quality of arms. I mean, Wells is no slouch, and Wilco's no slouch either. So it's always going to be tough to generate. And Giants have put a crooked number up with a 4 spot, so they got plenty of work today.
Yeah, all those runs came back in the second inning.
Ooh.
And to mention no walks, well, there's your first free base hit by pitch for the weekend. And just for Franco before that, that was his first hit of the weekend as well. He was 0 for 5 coming in. And all of a sudden, just like that, just 2 pitches, the Bandits have their first opportunity with men in scoring position with none out.
And it's their first time they've had 2 base runners on at the same time. And now 7-8-9. 7-8-9, get it done. That's how games are won, and that's what we're going to see right now, an opportunity for the Bandits.
And this is a good opportunity for this young man. This is Johnny Lim. And look, we talk about emerging athletes. Under 18 national squad in 2020. He's committed to junior college in New Mexico, junior college in August this year. Currently plays locally for Windsor, and then he did hit a home run against the Giants at home. So I think, put on a pretty good show. But when you look at his player makeup, there's a lot of really strong things to see, and potentially high ceilings depending on just getting more exposure to the game wherever he goes, whether it be college or whatever his opportunities present to him.
Well, up 2-0 in the count. You think this is a moment for the Bandits. Lem led the Futures League with 12 hits. He's got a chance here, and he's quite happy to see these ones fly higher the outside. 3-0 count. And I can almost press the recording for this, can't I? You just sit back and watch the strike sail through without taking a swing. It's a tradition I know exists. Been doing this for 6 years. I still don't understand it. Just like that. Oh, he's missed the zone though. Okay, walk, and we got loaded Bandits. So 2 in succession free bases given up by the Giants. And now Liam Taylor, who is averaging... Well, he's averaging under 100 at the moment, so this is his moment for a bit of redemption.
He's been on the Bandits' radar for a while, though, now, Liam Taylor, hasn't he?
Yeah, but it's just tough to crack the lineup.
No.
It's for a lot of young kids, especially when you got a guy like Logan Wade or Soupy in front of you in those primary positions. And for a long time, David Sutherland at first, there was no opportunities. He was so good. He vacuum cleaner, always hit his 280 plus. So good to see some of the young kids now coming through the system.
Has 4 RBI, so when he gets a hit, he makes them count. If he can get one here, he will certainly make it count. But Wilkins has got ahead 0-2 in the count. None out, loaded bases. Usually if you don't score from here, you consider that a failure. Let's see what Taylor can do. He check swing outside 1 and 2. Coming up after Taylor will be Luke Smith. So it's going to be 8-9-1 coming up. They're a double play. The Bandits should get around back to the top of the order before the end of the inning, but with a man on every base, double play a chance. Crowd a bit hushed. This one is a bouncing one to first. Checked off home, did Wingrove. Knew he wasn't going to get the throw, so did his own laundry. Got the out that was given. That was at first. And with that, the Bandits are 1 out, but most importantly, Gons, the scoreboard clicks over. The run column shows 1 for the Brisbane Bandits.
Well, even 2. I'll tell you why that was a really good at-bat. You're down by 4. You're in a 7-inning ball game. But that out right there advanced the runner second and third. So now a routine ground ball scores a second. So it was effective at-bat just by putting the ball in play. So that's just for all those young up-and-comers. You can still have a positive at-bat and not get a base hit.
Gets an RBI and advances the runners.
100%. And now he's hitting with defense back. And then he drives in a run. Ooh.
And Liam shows a web gem to take the diving catch. The runners will hold, and that's 2 away. And to me, and tell me if I'm on, Gons, you were a third baseman. This was your spot, wasn't it?
But I didn't do that. That's the big league play right there. Get a chance to see it. He didn't square it up, but really good job and good range by the third baseman, a la Brooks Robinson right there. And that actually, it's a game changer. That ball falls, all of a sudden, potentially 2-run score. We got a one-run ball game, but with Soupy at the plate.
So now we're back to Andrew Campbell, who has struck out twice thus far today. Came into the series averaging 235. 2 home runs for RBI. Would love a jack here. Bit difficult with this prevailing wind, but we saw Rickson Wingrove defy the laws of weather last night. 1-1 count, 2 out. Couple of big pitches in the context of this ball game. Wilkins inside. Gets behind 2-1. 29-year-old Andrew Campbell hits the big 3-0 in a couple of weeks. It's 18th of February.
He's only 30.
Yeah.
I said that about Brodie Ariola. I'm sure I've been calling for 5 years and he's 20.
But people forget, like when him and Logan and they were all 19 and 20 when they came up, and we were getting thrashed by Perth at the time because they were all men versus young men. We just watched them emerge, very similar to Meade here.
3-1 count, takes a swing, and we go full. So this is your moment, folks. Full count, 2 out, 2 runners in scoring position.
Well, you go back to the Giants in the first inning. They got all 4 of their runs scored with singles that were all with 2 outs on the board. So 2-out hitting got it done for the Giants. Bandits try to respond here.
And it happened last night as well. 4 of the 5. Swing and a miss. Wilkins got in trouble, but got out of it, conceded just the 1 run. As we head to the halfway point of the 5th. It's a 7 innings game. Always in the 7 innings games, it gets late early.
Yeah, it really does. So we're going to the bottom of the 5th, and there's only 6 outs that the Bandits have left up their sleeve.
And that's what I said. It's been good quality baseball. When you look at just the efficiencies of both pitchers, get a chance to see this play at third. And this, to me, this is the game changer right here. There's always a moment.
But no matter what the game, I know it's not on camera right now, the kids get a chance to run across the field and chase some goofy-looking dinosaurs, which is, the best part of the ball game. There they are.
Well, and once again, this ball club was the first to do the dash across the diamond back in Norwood, and it started a league tradition. But the funniest thing ever, there was one time where
PK?
but also they think they took the suit off and they only had the skin, and they did like a fake
nudie run?
Yeah, nudie run, but he was in just the bodysuit.
There's the one where PK had to we didn't have anybody in the mascot, so PK goes in the mascot himself, and he gets tackled by one of the kids, and he ends up breaking a rib or something like that.
That wasn't a good day.
No, but the Diamond Dash, it's chaos all around at every ABL club. I remember one game in Brisbane, it was like the championship series, maybe the first or second time that you guys won one.
Yep.
And it was madness. It was like the gates opened and there was like 500 kids on the field.
And there's carnage out there. But what's amazing, I really love it, is that it's a chance for all the kids to get on the field and do the dash. And even the players love it. The players love watching it.
And I call a wide range of sports, and there's nothing like it.
Nothing.
I mean, sometimes in local footy games, quarter time, they can come on and have a kick, but elite sport level, the ground is for your elite players. Fans stay away, and it's a great part of Australian Baseball League. You see it a lot where the players really do make the effort to interact with the fans. A bit harder now. COVID doesn't really provide that. But they do it better than most other sports baseball in that fan interaction.
Well, a new pitcher on the mound throughout all of this. The starting pitcher, Sam Laverty, his day comes to an end. Byron Humble is the new man on the mound. He's made that one appearance where he's had 2 innings pitched. He struck out 3 and walked 2. So Humble gets an opportunity to show what he can do.
In that Futures League, he had an ERA of 0.81,
Oh,
which
that's good.
pitched 7 innings, so they were both leading. So he was basically akin to a Super League baseball leader in ERA, and if the Futures League is anything like Super League, it's not generally a pitcher-friendly competition with a few of the hijinks that they insert, but he's going to know he's at this level now because he's facing one of the most dangerous men on the Giants lineup. It will be Rickson Wingrove, Jordan Mcardle, and Mitch Edwards coming up.
Holy cow, this is good experience for him. I know he's only about 19 years old. He was near 12 a couple years ago.
First pitch outside takes the ball. So in the 6th, Giants looking for a bit more insurance. Pad out, there's 3-run lead.
Wingrove right now 1 for 1 in the intentional base on balls. So his on-base percentage continues to get better. I know he had a couple walks last night. And Wingrove already entering the game was hovering around that 500 mark in terms of on-base percentage. That works.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to say this, he's so important for Team Australia. You have to have, once again, just using it, you have to have your impact guy. When David was playing, obviously, he was our guy. We knew we could...
Your power guy, yeah.
Your power guy, because the reality is pitching's outstanding in international levels. And so you're going to compete on that level. It's just you're going to have a guy that can run into the mistake, and he can run into good pitches and still hit them out. And Team Australia really needs that moving forward.
Again, 7 or 8 players all pushed off to the right half of the field.
And even left field. Almost like thought he was hiding in the Bandits bullpen for a sec. That's just a reliever. They're all on the right field. It's been played to the most left player, and he beat him out.
I don't know how he beat that out. That was 8 players on one half of the diamond.
But I think that was Soupy Campbell fielded that and almost threw him out. So is it Campbell?
Yeah, it was.
It is. Center fielder fielded that.
This is going to be an interesting look on the replay. This was close.
Oh, and a pick by Lutz. Tell you what, I call him out.
Just because of that.
Just because of that. But you know what? He's home cooking. You got to give him the hit.
Oh, that is close.
Yeah, it is close. But you know what? He's getting down the line for a big unit.
Deceptive speed. Rickson and Wingrove. Jordan Mcardle now. Out of the fire into the frying pan. Mcardle puts that up. They'll raffle it in the outfield.
I've never seen that in my whole playing career. I've played 17 years professionally. Never seen this center fielder almost throw. Oh, look at that.
Oh, he just beat it out.
Didn't even see that.
He just beat it out. That's a great replay.
Didn't see that in Italian ball at all?
Never. And remember, in Italy, we were still using tin, so they were using metal bats, and never saw anything like that in my whole playing career, where the center fielder almost threw you out at first.
You'd be one of the rare players, Gons, to have played. I said you were a globetrotter, 4 continents.
Yeah.
Your baseball experience.
And Rickson's going.
He's going to steal a base.
You know what?
The throw is off target. The ball is loose. He wants a second one. But sanity prevails.
Well, hold on. Rickson does. That's his 3rd stolen base of the season.
Yeah, but
look at the jump.
I would almost guarantee you, Eric, that the previous 2 would have been something that's got behind the catcher and he sort of strolled to second. We need that replay.
Yeah.
But I love it, Gons, that a man with your experience is still seeing stuff at a baseball game that you've never seen before. It's just that kind of sport.
Yeah, and what I like, but you know what? He shows good baseball instinct because he's a big unit. Like, he's a big man. And that's what Dingo talked about, 7 tools. He's got stealth, obviously, because nobody even saw him coming, you know, so.
Didn't give a second thought. Now he's in scoring position for Mitch Edwards to do something. It's 1 out, 1 on.
Look at him bouncing at second. He's always thinking, I'm going to go third if he doesn't cover.
Well, look where Pike is playing, because he's playing almost over at short, and there's no one holding him at second.
So they've cheated now, and that is because he could try to make it a foot race.
Again, the shift employed. There is 2 players on the left side of the field this time.
He's got the Aaron Whitefield oven mitt on right now, too.
Because he's a burner. He's a burner. He leads the team. He's stretching his hammies now. He's like, maybe I'm not as limber as I thought.
He's going to get that footage and show it time and time again, isn't he? 2-1 count. Chance for the Giants here to add to their lead. Edwards swings hard into that. It's going to go into left centre. It is playable. It drops short with that breeze. Wingrove thought about advancing a base, but the Bandits are on that pretty quickly. Zamora has her arm on him. Everyone holds. 2 out.
You think Rickson's having fun?
Yeah, I think it must be the oven mitt because it's like he thinks he's quick.
One thing about tonight and today, and Gonzo, I'll ask you, because the speed of these games, like we have gone 1 hour and 12 minutes and we're in the bottom of the 6th. And
let's
last night...
knock twice.
Oh, okay. Well, I want a long game. I want to chat with you guys. I don't want it over quick.
So we did. We had the 3 7s against Team Australia, and the longest game we had was about 2 hours and 3 minutes. But it was good content. Like I said, for us, we really enjoyed it. It also takes pressure off your volunteers as well, you know, because it's not 3-hour games in 40-degree weather.
Home at a reasonable time. Ooh, that was...
Went through him.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have collected bigger blokes for sure. 1-1 count, 2 out.
So did Wingrove borrow that mitt, or is that like his? Did he have that
I don't
made?
know.
He had to have that made. They don't
Surely.
make-
It's got the Phillies kind of color on it. It is the Aaron Whitefield classic oven mitt that he's got, though.
Yeah, but Whitefield runs like a 4.140. You know,
Yeah, and Whitefield had like 24 stolen bases in like a 33-game season one year.
yeah.
I called him on an inside home run of sorts. One game against Geelong Career a couple of years back. That's over the Burrito Bowl, getting close and personal to the action.
I'm going to ask a Mead question. So I know he had an amazing Arizona Fall League. So the reason why I'm a fan, but I played in the Arizona Fall League as well, and that's a special place. I mean, so and not only did he play, he was outstanding.
The longest hit streak in 2 decades in the Arizona Fall League, 21 games in a row. This one laced up.
Hit that, fell by a couple of metres.
This one, I'll tell you a story that sums up Curtis Mead to a T right now, because he had his 21-game hit streak broken. There was a game in that game, he was playing over at first base, where he's kind of getting transitioned to, hasn't played a lot of that growing up. He made an error over at first base or something in the game, and there was a viral tweet that was going around from the Rays development camp, and Curtis Mead got there 3 hours before the game, and all he was doing was taking ground balls over at first base, just working on his craft over at first. And that's not surprising to anybody in Adelaide, because he was here at 6 a.m. before work, before whatever he had to do as a high schooler, before school growing up, working with Chris Adamson in the hitting lanes, getting up early to do this kind of stuff. And Tank says there's no coincidences in baseball, right? And Curtis Mead's probably a testament to that.
Being ball 2 for 2.
I'm a fan. I mean, I watched that young man, you know, obviously he was 18, 19 when he came up, and then I watched him in Nationals, and he was playing for your state, and you guys smashed everybody in Nationals because it was like playing an ABL team. But the thing is his approach is so good. Great power to right center, uses the whole field. And like I said, outstanding in Arizona Fall League, made the All-Star team. So he's knocking on the door of the big leagues.
He is, because he made it up to AAA for a late call-up.
And went well, and had a couple bombs and went really well. So good organization as well. So, you know, like I said, see how he goes.
What are we up to, 36? Who will be number 37? We'll hopefully have an NBL season to find out. Full count here too. That sounded like a broken bat. And will be only one out needed. So whilst Wingrove did get to third, it will all be for naught. We end the 6th. We head to the 7th.
Yeah, we're going to crunch time in the final 2 outs. We'll be back in Adelaide after this.
I'm Jack Partington, play for Henley and Grange Baseball Club and play outfield.
I'm Geordie Gross and I'm a starting pitcher for the Henley and Grange Baseball Club.
Just been playing a lot of baseball, went over to college for 2 years, had a good time there, came back, moved to Henley and Grange with Geordie. We wanted to play together, so we played together, been playing Super League, so it's a lot of baseball, been really fun. And I describe my player as very energetic, just want to be out there, just want to win. Not a big statistic guy, we just want to win the game, do whatever it takes to win the games. And
the last 5 years, I've been at Henley and Grange for the last 3 years, and before that I was out at Woodville Baseball Club and just chipping away at it. And now I'm looking at Henley and Grange to take on a flag, hopefully. Working hard, I guess, over the last 3 to 4 years. A lot of people out there helping me over the years, with like Josh Tolles and the Troy Scobles and the Wally Marks, and just taking as much information as I can in and try and better myself out of it.
It's big being around people you love playing with, and you know, yeah, it's really fun being around all the guys, and being around a good culture makes a huge difference with how you're playing. We try and put in work most days. We try and get to the gym most days, try and swing as much as we can, you know, keep that arm active.
For me, it's normally in the pre-seasons. I really like to knuckle down and really work hard, and I was very fortunate this off-season to work with Josh Spence and with my craft a bit. And
yeah, always been a fan. It means a lot. Yeah, it's really exciting. It's just, we just want to play the highest competition possible, and to play for your own hometown, you know, is amazing. So
I'm absolutely stoked. Ever since I was a kid, I'd go out to the Norwood games and, you know, always dreamed to be out there and playing. And so now that I can put the uniform on, I'm very lucky.
Tyson Zamora leads things off for the Brisbane Bandits. The Giants lead 4-1, so the Bandits have to get their go on, and this one flied on the first pitch. Liam Bull drops it. Might have lost it in the sun because he was winding all over the place, but that will be the easiest base that Tyson Zamora will have, and he's aboard for the second time.
Yeah, here it is again. And this is where the wind plays havoc. So he's on the foul territory, and that pulls him probably another 2-3 meters back into fair. So he's going to be hard on himself. That's a tough play. And I've seen big leaguers make that same mistake in Candlestick in the old San Francisco park, and it's not easy when the wind's blowing like it is today.
It's been a windy series. That's the first one we've seen cause the fielder some issues.
Mitch Nilsson up to bat. Tough part of the lineup to allow a free base here for the Giants. They've got Mitch Nilsson and Donald Lutz, the 3-4 hitters for the Bandits. This, in all likelihood, in a 7-inning game, probably their last at-bat of the game, unless they really string together some hits here. So they got to make it count. Nilsson grounded into a fielder's choice the last time he was up to bat. Almost the double play. And it's a 1-1 count.
Just want to give you the quick line on Connor Laverty. Pitched 4 innings, 52 pitches, gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, struck out 1 and walked 1, the starter for the Bandits this afternoon.
Mitch Nilsson was one of the casualties last year, and the Bandits could not have been more unlucky with injuries. And this one to right field, back to the wall. Mcardle looking up, and he catches it right on the warning track. It just hung up the tiniest little bit, and it was enough to keep it a 3-run game rather than a 1-run game.
And I have a habit of going, oh, when someone squares it up, and he did. That's out of our field. It's off the house. And once again, he just gets under, and that's a good job by Mcardle just to find the fence, and that's a big out. So once again, dodged a bullet, because I thought that ball was out of here.
Well, this is the product of the field here, and what the Giants coaching staff and general manager Nathan Davison have identified, that you can get away with giving up fly balls in this field if you have good athletes in the outfield that can catch. Good case in point is a guy like last night, Jordy Gross, as Donald Lutz swings through it. Jordy Gross isn't going to strike a lot of guys out, but he throws a heck of a lot of strikes. The ball gets put in play, and as long as the defense takes care of business, you're going to have a stat line like Jordy Gross has all year, which is now 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, no runs.
Well, I look at guys that have success here. 4-seam guys have success because they're fly ball guys. So you had Chambers here at one stage, had a lot of success. Dan Nielsen pitched here, had success. Atho loves this place. 4-seam guy has success. So fly ball guys.
Remember David Holmberg, when the former big leaguer that came here, his home and away splits were crazy. At home, it was completely different dominant numbers compared to what it was, because the ball just went up in the air, and Aaron Whitefield said, thank you very much.
That's it. You don't need to give Whitefield a lot of time to get to those fly balls.
Donald Lutz, the batter, hits it hard over to first again, and this is almost identical to what it was last time, although they couldn't make the play. Wingrove, I got confused. He was wearing the mitt earlier. Wingrove steps on the bag, couldn't make the play over at short, but it would have been identical to how Lutz got out last time.
Yeah, good job. And once again, comes up firing, and he gets Zamora in the back. Zamora plus runner. He's going to be okay. Stays out of the double play. But once again, like I said, just make the routine play, tag the base. And it had been bang, bang, but just caught the runner in the back.
Franco Natali steps up to bat. Good baseball name.
Yeah, Venezuelan background. Like I said, loves the game. And like I said, it's good for this young man. He's intelligent family, comes here and just give him the opportunity. And physically, he's probably our most complete athlete, and it's just a matter of just getting more exposure to this type of pitching.
Wilkins delivers the pitch. Natali swings through it. I've got a mate in the UK by the name Tom Jacobson. He used to be here. He loves collecting baseball names. So anytime he hears a great baseball name, he writes it down, and he's got a poster on his room that he just lists off baseball names on it. And he saw Franco Natali on the roster sheet the other week, and he sent me a message, said that's going on the list. So now he's got a long list as Natali strikes out. So that one's for Tom Jacobson, I guess, because, it's a weird habit he's got, but I like it.
The baseball name, Hall of Fame.
Baseball name, Hall of Fame.
No,
just a little poster. Wall of Fame.
I think I've just about heard everything.
I know. It's ridiculous. He's a silly guy, but that's what it is. Either way, it's a 4-1 lead for the Adelaide Giants as we head to the middle of the sixth. Wilkins has pitched 4 innings. I thought he was going 2 today.
Yeah, that was the intel. We're going to have to sack our intel guy, I think. But he's only pitched 43 after Wells pitched 23. Gron's just a plug, I guess, for the Bandits that next week, and the Cavalry are coming.
Yeah, they are. So 4th and 5th, we're hosting Canberra. That should be good. Like I said, a guy that I saw in the lineup, and he was a former teammate of mine, is Kevin Jordan. Kevin played in the big leagues with the Phillies for a number of years, and his son is now playing for Canberra. So it'll be interesting to see. I hadn't seen little KJ, and watched him and growing up. But I also saw Jacob Nilsson in the dugout as a little bub when Dingo brought Jacob to the field. So we're all now seeing the guys I played with. They're now kids are playing at the next level. So that'll be interesting. And then we travel to Canberra on the 11th and 12th. So, yeah, we're excited about the series and an opportunity to engage with the Canberra team as well.
Yeah, of course, Canberra and Sydney doing battle at the moment for the KO Cup, which I think is the Kent Oxbridge Cup.
And you see Oxspring started.
Oxspring, that's it. And I'm glad they changed the name, because it made no sense to me how it could be the Hume Highway Cup. Because if you take the Hume Highway, you actually end up not actually going into Canberra.
See, you just told me, because I wouldn't have a clue. It made sense to me, and now they've been corrected. But yeah, Ox would have been throwing the knuckleball because he's up in years, but I think he's got a pretty nasty knuckleball.
Well, it's probably that kind of summer for that kind of stuff, bringing some new people, bringing some experience. Hey, look, we saw Tim Atherton and Donald Lutz in Giants uniforms. Who would have thought that, Eric?
Yeah, you couldn't have imagined that, but it was pretty cool to see.
Well, we saw Kent in an Aces uniform as well. So.
But that was a really cool experience to watch, I know, for a lot of the guys, as Mitch Lightbody is up to bat. On the Saturday night in Melbourne, Steve Kent pitching for the Aces and Tim Atherton pitching for the Giants. And both batters carved it up, but I know a lot of the pitchers were all in the dugout, had to move in and get a close look as Lightbody flares it out into an awkward spot. Liam Taylor moves in and makes the grab again. But all the players were kind of perched in the dugout, and they were just watching two guys that have they each have over 100 minor league games experience. Both reached AAA, both play for Team Australia, both have won Claxton Shields. It was pretty cool to watch two legends go at each other.
And it is cool, and both of them are as far as great ambassadors for the game. They're leaders, and it's just good to see them competing, and no agenda. It's just get out there and for the purity of the game, which is great to see.
Griffin Weber comes up to bat, and that was what was impressive about those Bandits players that joined it. And well, yeah, I'm just going to tell the story anyways, because Donald Lutz, literally in the dugout, he got. I mean, this is a professional league; players are getting paid to play in this competition. Yeah. Donald Lutz gets given his money for the weekend. He says, "Nah, don't need it, don't want it. I'm just here because I love to play baseball." And that's that's probably who he is, right?
Yeah, it is, and that's what makes him special, and that's what's so great having him, run the program in Brisbane now with the Bandits and the academies. And I do work with him. We are now doing PD development, so we actually go in very similar to business model. We do a PowerPoint presentation and we talk about the theory aspects of hitting and game plan and mental approach, and then we go into the prac component and then take theory into the practical. So, and he's been a great student, and like I said, we just continue to evolve the program through him.
Griffin Weber retired, so Humble looking pretty good in his. This is his 4th inning of work over the season. That's his 5th strikeout in the exhibition campaign. And now Brody Areola will come up to bat.
And this is where David gets a chance to see a guy that might be able to come out of the pen and set up a closer. And like I said, it's an opportunity for a young man to showcase to the manager and to the league. Because, once again, there's a lot of eyes here. And if the Bandits can't acquire him because of roster spots, Canberra, Adelaide, well, definitely Adelaide. You got to watch out for these guys in Adelaide. But once again, it's about them playing, and not necessarily which team, but having the opportunity to compete.
Areola flares it out into foul territory. Donald Lutz has to track it well, and he does in front of the Big Shed bar. He makes the play. It's a 1-2-3 inning, very clean. There from Humble, he goes 2 innings. He will hopefully, from the Bandits' point of view, get maybe a 3rd inning of work, but really it's going to be closing time for the Adelaide Giants, and they're going to send in a local fan favorite, Tom Fitzgerald, the big 6'8" right-handed pitcher with the shaggy hair. Fitzgerald's an interesting one, Gons. He really only started pitching when he was 17 years old. That's when he started. So he's 27 now. He's still kind of young in terms of baseball experience, right? Or pitching experience, and he can throw the ball hard. His numbers this year, last year in club ball, he had about a 4.5 ERA. That's now down to 1.5. His whip's gone from 1.5 to about 0.8. He's got 52 strikeouts in 40 innings.
Well, I'll update you on that. 18 walks and 66 strikeouts. Struck me, I mean, a young kid, for a start, I'm very jealous about the hair as a starting point. Once I look beyond the hair, the initial days, a bit of a wild thing. The pitches could go anywhere. But if the South Australian Baseball League stats are anything to go by, that's a pretty good ratio, almost 4-1 strikeouts to walks.
I think what people are impressed by is his improvement year over year, and he goes to that school of Josh Spence that people have kind of called it around here, and he runs a throwing program in the off-season, a former big league arm, and that's where guys, you see remarkable rises like Fitzgerald, like Jordy Gross, who's come up from a lower division and now is pitching in the ABL Exhibition Series. That's all from a guy that's a former big league pitcher coaching the Giants.
Yeah, look, your staff is outstanding, and a credit to the organization. And Spence is brilliant. You know, like I said, I think he's just been acquired by the Brewers, so now he'll share that. I'm just looking at this young man mechanically. So just to his, I guess, defense, when you're 6'8" and those levers are as long, it's hard to find release point. There was a guy in the big leagues named Graham Lloyd. And
heard of him.
Yeah, heard of him. And even a guy named Randy Johnson, heard of him.
Heard of him too, yeah.
And that's hard for those guys to, particularly on the elevation, and find that release point. But looking at him mechanically, if he does that, he just stays within himself, he's going to be effective because the ball's on you quickly when the guys are 6'8". And another thing, and David's really educated a lot of people on this, we don't think Australian players really hit their peak until they're 27 to 30.
Really?
Yeah, because you're talking the mental aspect as well as the physical attributes all come together. Plus, they're playing catch-up to everyone in the world because they don't have the number of at-bats a kid that went to college or pro ball.
First pitch swing from Kyle Pike, and Rickson Wingrove climbs the ladder and brings it in, and it's a quick first out once again.
Don't forget, folks, this is not the last inning of the day because we got a game tonight. 7 o'clock South Australian time, 6:30 Queensland time. Back for more baseball.
We're in the 7th inning. We played 91 minutes.
And look at Wingrove, the big cat over there at first. Remember?
Yeah.
Look at he's done it all today.
We have an MVP award today at all?
We don't, but we could come up with one, I guess.
We can do whatever we want.
We can do whatever we want.
Wingrove will want to nominate himself just for the stolen base, let alone that catch.
Well, he's got style points today. He's got a bag. He's got a couple knocks and just flaring it.
Had the home run last night. He's had a good weekend, Rickson Wingrove.
No, he has. I think he loves our pitching for some reason. It's just like eating a Zambro's burrito for him. It just smashes him.
Good. I love that. Good product placement. I mean, 2 years ago as a commentator, I just had the most amazing season. 20 Giants home games, 7 walk-offs in 20 games, and Wingrove was in the mix of most of those.
And then he did it again last year.
Oh, he did one against us at home, and it's still traveling off the house. I think they put in for damages.
Johnny Lem fouls one away. So Fitzy's still working away. Made the switch over to Goodwood Baseball Club locally, and that's significant because he works with longtime ABL pitchers and former pro arms, Darren Fidge and John Challenor over at the club.
Challenor faced him. I was talking to Andrew Scott, in regular played in an old timers game, and Challenor plugged him.
You know, Chunky came back, John Challenor. He made a comeback to baseball, playing full time. He's now 5th in the SABL in ERA.
I'm surprised Fidge's not still playing.
Fidge does still play. Don't be surprised. He is still playing, but Challenor is one of the leading pitchers in terms of some stats. He doesn't pitch those long innings, but he still gets it done. But he throws 6 or 7 different pitches.
Of course he does.
So that was the story of Riley Moore. The catcher comes over and he meets John Challenor for the first time and says, "Hey, what are you going to throw?" And he's like, "Well, you don't have enough fingers to throw down what I'm going to do." 6 different pitches.
Just sit back, watch and learn.
2 by 3 is a 6, so he's just our son. But you know what? I faced him in the day, and you know, he had big breaking ball. He was a competitor. Like I said, I see particularly in South Australia, the guys play longer in their careers and still compete. You know, they still have the hunger.
Johnny Lem is aboard, so Liam Taylor comes up to bat. He's grounded out twice. Lem got on board for the second time, his second walk he's had. So some patient approaches from him.
And that's what I said. He's a young man that will have huge benefits. Well, all of them will, but he will particularly because of his obviously going to JUCO next year. Just as huge for him mentally in that transition to college.
Just the line on Luke Williams, 4 innings, 44 pitches, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, and the 1 walk.
That's a normal line for him, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty effective.
Pretty par for the course.
Up the middle, Barry scoops, gets one with light body, Ricks and Wingrove.
No.
Oh, he's called safe at first.
Oh, he dropped
he dropped it.
He sold it, though. You look at him. He's a salesman. He says, I got that.
Rickson can't believe it. Let's see this replay. The Giants thought the game was over. There's one. Light body throw. Oh.
Oh, he almost sold it. No, it's come off him.
Did it come off him?
No,
Yeah.
it come off him and trickled over, but he sold it. Watch this.
Yeah, it came off of him, and he...
Look, he's selling it right there.
Did he sell it, or does he think he has it?
He's
he sold
hoping
it.
He's selling it.
that it's somewhere. It's like got into his trousers or into his pocket or something.
Up the middle, Fitzy scoop to Wingrove. He doesn't have to sell this. He has the double clutch, throws it in the air, and the Giants take game 2. A 4-1 victory. All 4 runs came with some good 2-out hitting back in the second inning, and that was the big difference. Here's a look at the sell job again, though. Yeah, he's trying to see. He sees it. So he's got a stolen base. He's got a home run in the last 2 games. He's got a nice defensive play, and he almost had an Oscar.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Most outstanding performance in a first baseman. Alrighty, well that's it. Game 2 of 3. The good news is there's still 1 to go. The speed of the games is something phenomenal. I have a feeling we had another hour of stories to tell. We'll have to save those for tonight. Eric, thank you for your participation. We might see you bits and bits in the late game. But thank you for contributing this afternoon, all you do for the baseball here.
My pleasure. Yeah, an hour and a half gone, and now we have an hour and a half between games. So we'll figure out something to do, and
we'll work it out.
Fans will go down and drink some beers from the Big Shed Bar and have a good time.
And Gons, thank you, mate. Look forward to chatting with you in the nightcap.
Phil, Eric, thank you. It was a pleasure. Appreciate it.
All right, this is Phil on behalf of Dave Muggleton and the Spacequake Sports crew. We'll be back with the nightcap in about 90 minutes.